We are live. Hello, welcome back to Powered Up Comic Book Reviews Thursday Night Chat with me, Berkfamily54comics. I am Steve. We got our full panel back this week. We are talking some comic books. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Sorry I haven't been making some videos in the last couple of days. I've just been not feeling very well, but I'm feeling better today, and I'm ready and excited to talk what books I grabbed this week, along with talking to my friends and reviewing what books they got and all of that stuff. So let's bring in our guest. First one is first one is one of the brothers from 2BrothersComics. We got Dustin in the house. What up, dude?
What's going on? How's everybody doing this week? Hope everybody had a great local new comic book day. Hope everybody was able to get out to the shops and get some books. Hopefully you didn't stabbed. Hope you didn't get shot trying to pick up that Hella Risen #3 this week.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. That's wall behind you is sick. Got some
thank you.
goodness back there. We got a new one I haven't seen before outside of maybe got an A-OK. Nice.
Yep, got that A-OK from Comic Man Andy. Sorry I wasn't here last week. That was what we were doing last week. That was his only night he had available to do that, and he wanted me to open it up live, and we brought him on the show to do that. So that was why my absence was last week. But considering what the book was, I think I get a pass, right?
Absolutely. We did a short show anyways. So let's bring in our next guest. He's been joining me for a while. We got Ryan, also known as Nuexguy. What up, dude?
Hey, what's up? Excited to be here. Feeling a little bit better myself this week, so that's exciting. I will say there was one of the main water mains, I guess, for Houston burst this morning and flooded pretty much all of the east side of Houston, caused some water problems and water pressure issues for a lot of residents. So this afternoon, they canceled school for tomorrow, so all my kids are still running around and making plenty of noise. So if you hear that, that's what's going on. They found out no school, and they were like, yeah, and now they're losing their minds. So
Nice. I want to go ahead and say hi to everyone up in the chat. Oh, let me fix that. We got Comic Book Hunter. What's up? Who else we got here? I'm assuming, is this you or is this Nick? That's got to be Nick, right?
Yep.
We got Comic.
I'm always so confused because they conversate, and I never know who I'm actually talking to sometimes.
I know.
So that's right there. That's my buddy Ryan out in Tennessee. What's up, man?
What's up, Ryan?
Hey,
How's it going, man?
That's a good name.
I'm gonna put this on the old Instagram, let everyone know that we are live. I'm just going to go live from here really quick. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point in the show, we're going to talk about what books we grabbed this week. Who wants to go first? Ryan or Dustin?
I guess I'll start.
Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I'll kick it off, I guess. So 4 main books I picked up this week. First one being Usagi Yojimbo Color Classics #2. It's a really cool book. Basically, Usagi, whenever it was first printed, it was short, 8-page stories, no color. So now they're reprinting those in color. But what they do is Stan Sakai goes back and writes pieces in between to kind of connect all those 8-page stories. So you're getting a modern take on it, and he's retelling those stories to you, so it's really cool. Folklords #4. That's this book just keeps on getting crazier and crazier, but I mean, it's awesome. It's really trippy, really good stuff, incredibly underrated. Nobody seems to be talking about it, but they should be. So that's been a good one. And then I grabbed Jennika #1. That book, I heard an interview with the guy that wrote and drew it, and I really liked where his headspace was for her character when he was writing it. I did not look at any solicitation, so I didn't know what the art style was like on it, and so I got it today. I was pretty shocked, but in the end, it all comes together, so definitely a good book. And then, of course, I had to get the Mighty Morphin number 48, and we'll be talking about that one too. But very solid issue, if you ask me.
Awesome. I've not announced what books we're talking about tonight, but you can kind of see based on the thumbnail what we're talking about. Really quickly, I want to say hi to Perry Comics. What is up? All right, now it's time for Dustin to show off what books he grabbed this week.
So I had a super light week this week, which is great because next week is Power Rangers Ninja Turtles week, and that will not be a light week for me. I picked up Folklore's number 4, and like Ryan said, this has been an awesome series so far. And just like you said, it's getting wild, and I'm kind of lost right now on what exactly is going on, but I'm still digging the book for sure. Which I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up talking to Ryan in the Instagram to try to get caught up on what exactly is going on, because I know he's kind of like Nick. He's able to see into these things a little better than I am. I picked up the new Power Rangers book.
Yeah.
What's that? The San Diego Comic-Con homage variant?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, pretty cool. You got the shielded Black Ranger. And this book's not a new book, but I've been looking at it every time I go in, and I never grab it. I had a light week, so I went ahead and grabbed Ravencroft Sabretooth. Wished I hadn't. I love Sabretooth. He is my absolute favorite Marvel character, but the artwork in that was atrocious, and the story was just kind of So, but I did have one more pickup. This was actually came in the mail, and this is a book I've been after, and super pumped to finally get my hands on the Green Ranger tearing down Superman and this Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Justice League crossover. And yeah, just in case Biggie's watching, this is how it would go down, bro. Just telling you right now. Tommy's wearing Superman out.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's an awesome cover. That looks really good. I love the cover.
You've been hunting that for quite some time, dude.
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right, my turn, I guess, to show off what I grabbed. All right, I grabbed, obviously, Power Rangers number 48. I got the regular cover that I read. I always get 2 covers. I get the regular cover. And you know, I had to get the foil variant to go with my San Diego Comic-Con number 5 variant. So these bad boys can go together nicely. And then I also got Shazam number 11, the variant. I really, really like this story by Jeff Johns. The whole thing's been really good. That's the book dreaming about him beating Superman.
No.
All right. Then I also
he wakes up at the end. It's just a fever dream.
TMNT Jennika number 1. I wanted one of the variants, but all the store had was the regular covers, and that's okay. And then I actually almost forgot this. I did forget it. Had to go back through and pay for this after I paid for the others. Batman White Knight number 7. So by Sean Murphy. It's been pretty good. All right, we got a question here by some comic book hunter. It depends on how many books you send, all that stuff. You're better off sending multiple books if you want to save money. If you only send in one book, it's like $50 or so. It just depends. But if you send in more than like 3, it's around $30 per book average.
And it's also going to make a difference whether it's a golden age, silver age, or a modern book.
Yeah, and if they're all like the same, great, like around the same like time period, and they're worth around the same, then it'll be like $30 each, $35 each.
I'd recommend trying to send them in. Like if you got like 5 silver ages and a couple of moderns, send your silver ages in, get those done, and then send your moderns in, because those silvers are going to take a lot longer. If you got moderns looped in with them, then everything's going to take a long time to get back.
What's up, Splash Page Comics? How's it going, dude? Southern Comic Geek. What's up, man?
SCG.
How we doing? Lots of good peeps up in here. All right, we are back with our Powered Up comic book reviews. I'm excited to be back with you guys. It's been a couple weeks. Yeah. We're always talking 3 comic books. We decided to change up the show a little bit. It used to be 1 DC, 1 Marvel, 1 Indie. We decided just to have 3 books regardless of what they were. This week we chose Power Rangers, of course. It's always going to be on the docket. And we chose TMNT Jennika #1. And the third book, each of us are going to talk about one other book we got this week and review it and talk about why we pick it up or why you should pick it up. So, thanks, guys. Just wanted to estimate. Yep, no problem. Check out Instagram post, Dustin.
I will do that.
All right. Okay, so should we start with TMNT Jennika and then do Power Rangers, or should we just jump right into the Power Rangers book?
I would say start with Jennika. Because I would say start with Jennika.
All right, so I'm going to go full screen here really quick. If people don't know, Jennika is the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. She's the 5th turtle. She got her, it even says it at the end, she got stabbed at the end of TMNT 93, and Leo had to give her his blood to save her. And in TMNT number 95, she was a full turtle. That was her first appearance of a turtle, all that stuff. And so, I think we're on like issue 103 right now, or 102. And now she has her own series. I think this is just 1 of 3. There's only 3 issues on this. And I don't know. I was just like Ryan. I had read nothing about this book going into it. I mean, I remember, everything about it and all that stuff. But I read nothing about this book. I didn't know what was going to happen at all. So this is a spoiler review. So if you've not read this and you're going to pick it up, then maybe turn off now. But if you're not going to pick it up or you did read it, now is the time we're going to be talking about it. So in this book, it kind of talks about, her struggles of being a turtle, about how she misses being a person. And, she's looking at all these billboards of all these women. She sees Casey, which she was with Casey before she became a turtle. She sees another person that's also now a mutant that she was with before she became a turtle. And so there's a couple pew, 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 pew. So this whole issue is basically about her thoughts and all that about being a turtle. And at the end, a really big thing happens where the person that she was talking to, her old boyfriend from I think 10 years ago actually, says, because he's also now like a different mutant, he has discovered a cure, which is kind of the cliffhanger it ends on. So, Dustin, did you read this or just Ryan?
Nah, my shop didn't have any copies for me, so
okay.
I wasn't able to grab it. There was like 1 left, and I threw it in our there was a couple left I threw in our picture, but I think they were all already set for people's pull list, so I wasn't able to grab it. But I did have some questions, so as you guys talk about it, because I haven't read any of the current Turtles run, so I got some questions. Maybe I can add a little to it with that.
Ryan, what did you think about the book?
Well, going into this, like, I know basically what you said as far as like what's going on currently in Turtles, but I haven't been reading it. So I knew she got turned because of the blood transfusion, and I know there's like a city of mutants, but I didn't realize they were like kind of like walled off and stuff. So there's a few little elements that they made clear enough that I understand it for the story, but I don't know exactly where this falls in line with what's going on in the main series. But like I said, it was pretty good at like explaining itself enough that I understood, what the deal was. And then, like I said, I listened to the interview with the creator, and so I kind of went into this knowing like what he wanted to get into her mindset of like, she's used to be a human, now she's a anthropomorphic or a mutant. She used to be a human, now she's a mutant. There are other mutants, but she was kind of in a thing with Casey Jones, so her reality is now like this is a weird setup of like she's a mutant and he's not, so like human and animal relationship thing, so that's kind of how I went into it looking at it, and it definitely delivered on that. I feel like it was a pretty good read. My only issue is if it continues kind of on that same mindset every time, because and this one, you get a lot of her like lamenting losing her humanity, and all she wants to be is a human again. I really was hoping we'd get more of a balance of like, what here's the benefits of being a mutant, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope every issue of this isn't just her trying, like, desperate to be a human again. Maybe the next issue focuses on her being like, oh yeah, but there's all these cool things about being a mutant. And then in the third one, maybe her coming to grips with both sides, you know, and kind of getting it all together like that.
You know, I thought it was like, honestly, kind of a boring issue overall. I was not a big fan of the art on the inside. I didn't really like the way the turtles were drawn. The turtle was drawn. The story was just kind of bland overall. Though the ending was kind of a cool cliffhanger because it kind of builds off of, you know, the fact that she keeps looking at all these billboards and seeing her ex-boyfriends and talking about how difficult it is and all that stuff. There wasn't a lot of action. I mean, if the only action there really was when she's in the club and she's fighting these people a band is playing. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the chase scene at the beginning.
Comics and Death Metal wants an inside look. So I want to show that. Do you have some questions? Dustin, you said you have some questions on this book, or
yeah, so Comics and Death Metal, Ryan. Yeah, I did see a 340, or who was it? Comic Geek asked about a 340 homage cover. There was one. I remember seeing it. It was pretty cool looking. But so Jennika, when she became a turtle, was it like something that was a choice for her, or was it one of those deals where like it was, you know, they did it, maybe, or was she like in trouble or dying and they changed her to save her life or something? Or
that's exactly it. She did not have a choice. She was dying. It was either that or let her die, and that was a decision that the turtles made.
okay,
Her first appearance is in like issue 50 as a Foot Clan soldier.
okay,
But
and then she turned into a turtle in like 95 or something.
95 is her first appearance as a turtle.
Okay, so she was dating Casey Jones.
Yep.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Is right. Isn't he supposed to be dating April, right?
Yeah. That was always the thing.
They're not dating.
Now, I'll tell you the one thing about the character design that I thought was kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say flawed, but I guess to me it doesn't really work with the rest of the turtles and how they fight. Is, you know, you and like I said, I haven't read any of this run, so if it's happened in this run, then, you know, cool. But I've never seen the turtles kill anybody, right? Like, that's not a like you don't see the Power Rangers kill anybody. Well, in these stories you do, but you don't see the turtles kill anybody. They're hand-to-hand combat. Now, yes, Raphael does have his, you know, his size, and Leonardo's got his katanas, but you don't ever see these guys slicing people up, stabbing people. But she's got these 4-bladed Wolverine claws. And I'm just like, well, how does that work? Like, she can't even throw a punch without just severing someone's head completely, you know, from their body.
Wearing those all the time.
Do what?
She's not wearing them all the time.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, then that answers.
Yeah, she didn't even draw them in this issue. They're on her bag, but she never actually uses them at all in this issue.
Okay, I got you. Cool. Yeah, that was, yeah. So, okay, that answered that then. Yeah, I thought about it when I first saw the design. I was like, how is she going to fight? Like, she's got to be all kicks then, because if she throws one punch, everybody's going to die.
Yeah, I've long wondered the same thing. But, yeah, like you said, there's a couple scenes where she punches and stuff, but she never actually draws her weapons in this book.
It's mostly all like mutant on mutant fighting. And so, like, you know, animals have different, you know,
color blood
than humans. So
right. Okay.
I will say I kind of felt the same way about the art in this. Like, going in, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this. But once you get to like the punk scene, I could hear that music and see that playing out like in motion. And I will say, once I got there, I was like, wait, this art does make sense, because it looks very like in line with you know, like 80s punk, you know.
It does.
So I think that's part of it. Like, once I got there, I felt a little bit better about it, because it does line up with the whole like punk rock theme that they have in this book.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, I was kind of like, whoa, I don't know. This is weird art. Like, it looks kind of scratchy and, I don't know, not polished.
Overall, I wasn't entirely impressed with this book, to be completely honest. Like, this was just really slow. I don't know. I picked
He
it up.
almost looks like a frog
one.
on that cover from here.
And that's how the art is on the inside. It's the same artist that did the cover.
Is it Daniela?
No, his name's Bram Revel. He wrote and illustrated or did the art or whatever.
He wrote and illustrated, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, he's doing all 3 issues. He's worked on Turtles before. He's part of the like Turtle family, you know, but this is his first like real solo outing.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, if you're into the whole like female turtle thing, if you really like the new turtle, Jennika, if you've been reading since issue 50, I can see how you'd like it. But if you've just been picking it up for the last, I don't know, couple months, like Brian and I, I'm not entirely into it. I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5.
Yeah, I could agree on that score. I do feel like there's a lot of interesting things they could explore with like her psychology, because she didn't choose to become a turtle, and then she was in this thing with Casey, and now like she's a different species. And you know, he even mentioned in that interview like IDW and the turtle brand is not going to go into like bestiality, so they have to figure that out. So there's a lot of interesting psychology to mine there. But I agree with you. This book was a little too slow and didn't really dig into it in the way that it needed to be done. It felt very like flat and one-dimensional, because all she is longing to be a human again. But really, they need to explore the psychology of both sides. What are the benefits and losses on each side of that? So I could say a 6.5.
Did you read that last, like the ending story, the extra story that they did? I did not read it. But that kind of gives you like a backup story. I already knew that what was going to happen in there, because they give a story at the end with the same artist that is doing TMNT right now, and it kind of does like it's like a story about when she was not a turtle, and so I'll show off what she looks like.
And I will say in that story, because I'm not reading Turtles, it made enough sense to me, but it still seemed a little bit confusing without the back issues.
This is a second story at the end. It gives like more info on her before she became a turtle. So.
And it's only like what, 4 pages, something like that.
4 pages exactly.
Yeah.
And this is what she looks like in the Turtle series, which I think looks way better than she looked in this series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 6. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, 6.5, like we both said. Hey, Comic Mag Musings, what's up? All right, we just finished reviewing TMNT, Jennika, #1. We are now moving on to the book that we all want to talk about this week. We're going to be talking about. Where is it? Power Rangers 48.
What?
All right. Really quick overall thoughts on the book. Who wants to go first? Dustin, you haven't talked very much. You go first.
All right. So we were
Spoiler
talking
review,
about.
by the way.
Do what?
Spoiler review, guys. If you've not read Power Rangers 48, spoiler review.
Yep. So you guys were talking about the artwork in Jennika. And I may be alone on this thought, but I am absolutely hating Daniela's art on this book right now. I am not digging the whole. I mean, I'm telling you, if I didn't see the cover and I flipped through this, I would not have thought this was Power Rangers. I would have thought it was like a something that Nick reads, like the Dragon Ball Z or the Yu-Gi-Oh. It's got such a hard anime feel to it, hard anime cartoon feel to it, and I'm just not digging the art. The story is cool. I'm really liking the story. I like what they're doing there, but I'm just not digging the artwork. I mean, what do you guys think about am I alone in this, or do you guys feel the same way? I mean, it the biggest thing, like right here, like I remember, Nick watching like Dragon Ball Z, and you see like, the feet just go, that's what that makes me think of. And I'm like, man, that's not the Rangers, dude. Like this is Like, come on, like, yeah, they're superheroes and stuff like that, but they're still the Rangers. They're still, you know, regular teenagers. And, you know, but I mean, and if you look at it, like, what is going on with his body and his legs in that same, I mean, if you look at his legs right here, like, they look weird and crazy in that panel right there. I mean, there's a lot of the artwork that I think leaves a lot to be desired.
It is very anime style.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, you know, and you do get some cool shots in here. Like the stuff where they're in space is really cool. I do like that he, you know, shows their face through the visors when the light hits it, and shows that, you know, they can see through the visors. They are see-through. But I don't know. I mean, I think that, I don't know. I personally, I think that, you know, the first few volumes of Go-Go that I've read so far, love the artwork. The first 2 volumes of Mighty Morphin, loved the artwork in the first volume. It was awesome. But I don't know. I'm not digging this. But I think right now Go-Go, the first few volumes of Go-Go has probably got the best artwork to me.
Yeah, that's Dan Mora, and he's incredible. He's probably been my favorite Power Ranger artist so far. I will say I like this. I like the Mighty Morphin artwork better than what they have in Go-Go right now. In Go-Go, they're all like super lanky and thin, and so I do like Daniele's work a little bit better. I know what you mean, but I do also have enough anime fandom in me that I can appreciate what he does there. But that's kind of why I said I think this was a good issue for me, but I could see it being divisive, because the more we progress in this necessary evil stuff, the more anime, like especially all the new characters they've created and new stuff they've introduced, the more anime it's gotten, and I can see that driving away a lot of like yourself, you know, more American art style oriented people.
Yeah.
So,
and I just, you know, growing up, I never was into, you know, really big into the anime stuff and the video games. I mean, the closest thing to anime that I was into as a kid was Pokemon, and that was short lived. You know, I mean,
yeah.
When it got hot, when it first came out, you know, I think like the first season or 2, but once they like got past the first 50 original ones, like after the first movie came out, like that was pretty much it for me. Yep. But that's as close as I ever got to any anime fandom in my life.
I'm going to say this, Dustin, really quickly. I'm going to go full screen here. So you talked about the kicking. Someone wanted to hear. Here it is. Someone wanted to hear you say that. What sound is it?
Just all over the place. And look,
you know what though? You know what though?
How is his leg bent like that?
Did you see the movie? Did you see the Power Rangers movie where he's got the super fast legs and he's kicking people super fast? I guarantee that is exactly where he got this from. Guaranteed.
That's true.
But I think he was doing more like a Liu Kang bicycle kick in the movie, though.
Maybe. Honestly, I mean, you can't. Okay, I will say this. This is just lazy, though. This part right here. Tommy's face. I mean, where is his nose?
Yeah.
There's no nose there. There's no nose at all. There's hardly a mouth.
And could you ever see Jason in capri pants?
Is he wearing capri pants?
He's wearing capri pants in this book, but
Where?
I'm just like it. Where? Like some of the way that they're dressed and everything, like it doesn't fit the personality of the character.
No,
in my opinion, you know. But you know, I understand that, you know, it's not 1994, you know, and it's all more progressive now. So that's something that I struggle with, is like I'm still looking for my, you know, 100% nostalgia there, and you know. I don't like change to the things that I loved as a kid. And, you know, when my nostalgia is being messed with, it just like drives me nuts. But, you know, I'm going to keep picking it up and reading it, though. I mean, I'm not going to hate on it too much. But I love Dane.
I didn't think the art was terrible. But if we're going to talk about the story, I thought it was a pretty good issue. We learn more about what Kaya is trying to do. We get Billy asking Grace Sterling for help, while her friends that were in the spaceship that had it all blown up last issue are all just in space waiting. We do get this really cool scene of Tommy and Jason fighting, which it kind of made Tommy seem like a dick. Well, I mean, he kind of is, but he's not at the same time. Like, I couldn't see him saying all that stuff to his friends, you know? But at the same time, like, I think the writer, Ryan Parrish, is trying to get across that their friends really feel like they were betrayed. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Jason says, what would you have done? You either have to save the universe and lie to your friends or let the universe die. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. So I could see it. I thought it was a pretty good fight. I would have liked to see more of it, honestly.
I could do a whole issue of them two fighting.
It was a draw to me, but I don't know.
I will say, I think the one thing that I didn't like, or I thought, well, okay, here was my one issue. Like, they have no mobility in space, right? And then they're just like, oh yeah, well, use your thrusters, like just reach out and you can. And it was like so cheesy, but I also feel like, in a way, maybe he was trying to do a nod to like The Last Jedi, and when Princess Leia flies through space, it kind of felt like that, where like it was kind of being cheesy on purpose. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen The Last Jedi? No. Ryan Johnson's one?
No? It's all good though.
The second Star Wars?
Yeah, episode 8.
Yeah.
Whenever Kylo Ren blows up the ship and she's floating out in space and then she just like flies back. Yeah. I felt like it was kind of a nod to that in a way. But that did kind of annoy me. There was like, there's no solution to this other than just like Deus Ex Machina, So, yeah. But the rest of it, I liked. That scene with Zach and Adam was like pretty incredible. I really liked that moment. That was really good.
I liked this. This is one of my favorite panels here.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. We got Kim from an alternate universe timeline with the Zord from Beyond the Grid. That's obviously going to be the Zord for the Omega Rangers. And I think we're going to get another person from another universe timeline join that team to make it 5. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole like art gate and stuff. Did y'all finish Beyond the Grid?
I did read the last 1 or 2 issues.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure that's where. No, I'm pretty sure they're going there, and they're gonna probably find the Solar Rangers and all that. So I'm interested because I like the concepts there. The details were just bad in the writing, So I do want to see that stuff survive because it was a really cool concept. So I'm pretty sure that's what that gate's gonna do, is take them to the Morphin Masters from Beyond the Grid.
So y'all are thinking that that Purple Ranger is gonna be the one that gets added to the team?
I don't know. At first I thought it was gonna be just the Ranger Slayer, but like she was just added this issue. So, and they said, I think it was issue 50 that they're going to get.
Well, and they're going to want to build her up right now because she's getting the one shot. She's getting the free comic book day. And so, I can see them wanting to do that. And, yeah, I mean, that would be, and that would probably be that. I think that would be a first if they did add that Purple Solar Ranger, because that would leave us with 3 girls and 2 dudes.
That never happens. And, Ryan thought that they'd bring in Draken, but I didn't think that was going to happen. But now
that would be awesome.
I do think, and what Ryan's saying from Beyond the Grid, I think we're going to get one of those people from Beyond the Grid, one of the Solar Rangers.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, originally we thought that the Ranger Slayer was going to come and join to be the 5th and the Pink Ranger, but Kaya's definitely out at this point, so that leaves them short another one now. So I can see them going through the art gate or whatever they called it and go to the Morphin Masters and get one of the Solar Rangers to join up. So that'll be really fun and interesting if you ask me.
We got 2 issues left. We got 2 issues.
How much do you think that issue would be worth?
Right? Dude, I'm not all about that.
1 million.
I used to be about the whole flip thing, but I'm not into that anymore.
I can't do it. It's too
do it.
stressful.
I can't do it. In fact, I think I'm going to make a video on why I don't flip anymore. Anyways, we got 2 issues left. Power Rangers from Necessary Evil, and I do think there'll be an aftermath of that and all that. And we do got. Is there 3 issues?
Because we still have one more go, right?
Doesn't it? But I was reading some previews and it sounded like it was continuing on.
I was talking specifically this title.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking Necessary Evil. It's got the crossover thing, so I was just thinking 3 for the whole event.
Is there going to be a one-shot Necessary Evil one-shot?
I think there might.
I don't know.
They did it for Shattered Grid, so
they did. I think
and Forever Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the end, but at the same time, I don't want it to end because it's been pretty good overall.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad. I am excited to see where it all lands, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Issue 50 is going to have, I think I saw a 1 in 50.
Ooh, I'm
they're doing
real quick.
And that'll be the first time we've gotten anything outside of like a 1 in 25 because I know issue 49 we get the Green Ranger foil.
Finally.
And then also, Chris Anka's doing the trading card variants for the one. It's been like a 1 in 15, 1 in 20 variant most of the time. And I've got the White Ranger, Red Ranger, blue, and pink. I didn't pick up the Yellow Ranger, but they're going to do the 1 in 25 with the Green Ranger on that one. So I'm trying to pick that up for sure.
I cannot find this cover.
The 1 in 50?
The 1 in 50.
It won't show it anywhere. I've looked everywhere. I can't find it. All I've been able to find is the 1 in 25 and the regular cover and then the foil cover.
It's got to be something really cool. I wonder if it's spoilery. That's why we can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But
I'm excited.
But yeah, there was something else I was gonna say, and I can't remember now what it was. But
I will say this event has felt a little like, especially in the beginning-ish and middle parts, felt a little meandering and kind of fluffed up. But these last couple of issues have really been bringing it back into focus and like what's going on. And so I am excited to get to the end and see where it all lands at. I think it's going to be really exciting.
It does seem like, you can tell when you're getting to the end of an event because they start cramming stuff in there while at the beginning.
Picking up fast.
there's a lot more like one-off conversations. Well, in this book, and like it just feels like overall, like you can tell the event's coming to the end because there's a lot more happening, jumping back and forth, all this different stuff versus, like I said, the one-off conversations of just stuff that doesn't really seem like it matters. But you did say that you did really like the Adam and Zach conversation about how, Zach is talking about Adam, and Adam's scared about dying and all this stuff, and how he wished he was as cool like Zach is, and Zach's like, I'm just comic relief because that's what my team needs me to be. I'm just as scared as you all the time.
Yeah, that was a good.
And I think we're going to continue. I think we're going to continue to get those little exchanges. It definitely seems there was one I think last issue, and then this one we got this, and I feel like they're kind of passing the torch with each of these characters. I wouldn't be surprised if next time we get a conversation between Trini and Aisha.
I think Aisha had the last issue.
Oh, that was the one last. Yeah. So
I'm thinking Rocky will probably be the next.
Rocky,
I hope they do. Rocky, he's like my least favorite Red Ranger ever.
Yeah, I know.
Because they just bench him because they have Tommy. You know what I mean? They didn't really utilize it all.
He's not a leader. He's just a goofball.
Even if Tommy wasn't there, like I don't see him having any leadership capabilities at all.
No, I agree.
It just and that's just I don't know.
He was basically a less charismatic version of Adam.
Yeah, for sure. Now I remember what I was going to say. So when I was reading it, like as I've been reading this, and they talk about the morphing masters, and I'm like sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, we read Power Rangers, we're fans of Power Rangers, we're already made fun of enough and looked at as like the nerdiest of the nerds. Could
Even
you come up with
in
something a little less cheesy than the Morphing Masters? Like I mean, I liked what they did with the names for the and I don't know why I'm blanking out on. I haven't got much sleep. The
Emissaries.
yeah, like that was an awesome name. Like come on, give us some kind of a cooler name, like the Morphin Masters. Like that sounds like something that somebody would say to a fan like us, making fun of us. Oh, here come the Morphin Masters in the con, But
right,
it was funny though.
They are a pretty cool concept though, because basically the emissaries are well, like, have you seen Dogma? You have like the voice for God. Like, God cannot speak because you wouldn't be able to comprehend what you're hearing. It would destroy everything, And so the Metatron speaks for God. He is the voice of God, basically. And that's kind of what the emissaries are. Like, we could not comprehend the Morphin Masters themselves. They are the gods of the grid, And so that's kind of how the emissaries are played, is like they're the ones we deal with because we couldn't handle the full-on power of a Morphin Master. And so they're kind of interesting. There's interesting stuff about how all the powers came to be with them and all that.
And is that all from the Beyond the Grid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where the Morphin Masters come from.
What about the Beyond the Grid? Is there ever, I mean, maybe I missed it during the Beyond the Grid, if there was like some kind of an origin story of them, because I know there was more than just the blue one in Beyond the Grid.
Yeah, well, that's basically it. Like, you get most of their story in Shattered Grid, and then Beyond the Grid expands to the Morphin Masters. And because the whole thing with Beyond the Grid is basically they are in a whole different like dimension, where the grid exists, but there's no connections to it. So they can't morph all the time. They have to basically capture morphin energy, and there's like this whole thing with that. But that's really like, Beyond the Grid, they basically go to the source of the actual morphin energy and the powers.
Yeah,
and so that's where you get a lot of that.
Okay. I mean, I've read some of it. I've read up to the point where the villain, like, you get the first shot of the new villain in the last page. Like, that was the last issue I picked up, and then Necessary Evil started, and I was like, well, I'm picking these up now. So I have to go back and check it out. I need to go back and read Shattered Grid too. I read it, but I need to read it again just to get a refresher.
It's definitely a cool concept, but I don't know. There's too many other characters in there that I just didn't know or really care about. So I think that's why everyone wasn't a big fan of it. But
I kind of looked at it like
the major concepts for.
I'm sorry.
Like, all the major concepts for Beyond the Grid are really good, but the details in the writing is where it starts to fall apart.
Yeah, I agree. All right, this is what it says for issue 49 of Power Rangers. Necessary Evil continues. The Power Rangers are outnumbered. Even with the Omega Rangers and Power Rangers reunited again, the Anointed have them surrounded. Will the arrival of an old friend and an older enemy turn the tide in this battle?
I will tell you this. I think the Chris Anka trading card variant for issue 51 is Lord Zed. So I don't know if
I was gonna say this whole time I feel like Zed's gonna have something to do with it too.
So I did notice that. So that would be cool. I always liked him better than most of the other big bads they had. I mean, I thought he, I hated that, kids got so scared of him during his first season that parents were writing in and they had to water him down and turn him into a comedic act, because he was serious in the first series that he was in. I mean, he was like a serious, scary guy. I mean, so that was the first time you had something like that. So
in 51, we get the foil variants of this bad boy.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yep.
I'm excited for that for sure.
I got that one. He's beat to hell now, but I got it.
Tommy, all right. You got anything else you guys want to say on the Power Rangers? What you're looking forward to, or anything on the Power Rangers before we move on to our third books? Which is really not that many people in here. I don't know where everyone went, but
I know there's a few other people on right now too.
Yeah, no. Anything you guys wanted to add to that?
You guys saw I shared today on our page that we're getting another one shot. I don't know if it's a trade or a graphic novel, or I think it's a graphic novel.
Yeah, kind of like Soul of the Dragon and all that. The psychopath, you know.
What is it? I'm going to look at your Instagram right now.
Yeah, and I don't know the Ranger. I know it's the Pink Ranger with the heart on the helmet. I'm not familiar with that series at all.
Yeah, it's Jim Scott and Wes, I forget his last name. The Pink Ranger and the Red Ranger from I think Time Force.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's basically sounds like a love story between these two that deals with some time travel stuff and all that. So
Jen Scotts and Wes Collins.
Now,
Wes Collins.
Did they were in Shattered Grid, or were they in Beyond the Grid? Or I just remember seeing some kind of small storyline between them.
Yeah, they show up toward the end of Shattered Grid.
Yeah, because
when all the different ones are coming in
or something, or I remember something like that. I think that's where I recognized it from. Yeah, because she was there when Tommy got killed, right? I feel like I remember. I feel like I remembered her showing up to tell Kim they had to leave when they were in the alley and she was holding Tommy after he got killed. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know if it was her. I thought it was the Ranger Slayer.
I don't know. I have to go back and look.
Also, the way Shattered Grid ended sucked.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird.
It was trash. The way that ended was trash. Could have been.
It was great up to that point, though.
It was pretty good up until that point, but he had no idea how to finish it and how to bring the Green Ranger back. He had no idea.
On the other hand, Go-Go and Forever Rangers was like the perfect ending. I love that.
I'm picking up Volume 3 this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Go-Go and Power Rangers moving forward. I will tell you, Dustin, that Power Rangers TMNT actually doesn't come out for another 3 weeks.
Oh, no.
Next week.
Nope.
What do they call it in football? A bye week or whatever?
There's 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks before Power Rangers TMNT.
Oh, well, that's great for my wallet then.
Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles.
Because I could have looked it up on Midtown today. Because it didn't show on the preview.
March 18th.
Right on. That's great for me then. And it doesn't look like we're going to have as many covers either. I think there's a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 50 and then the regular covers. So hopefully it won't cost me $100 again.
There's the White Ranger helmet, the Pink Ranger helmets, and then one other one that I see that you can get.
Who's holding the White Ranger helmet this time?
What's that?
Who's holding the White Ranger helmet this time?
Mikey.
Okay. And then the other one will probably be one of the guys holding the Green Ranger helmet.
I don't know. I don't see that on here listed. But I wonder if I can click on this and change it. Sometimes it shows other ones. No, it doesn't show any other ones. Interesting.
We'll have to just wait and see, I guess.
All right.
I'll let y'all know.
Okay. At this point, we usually go to talk about our third book. I'm going to let each of us talk about one book that we picked up that we liked. I'm going to go first. Let me grab it really quick here. All right. Everyone knows I'm a big DC guy, huge DC guy. Book I grabbed this week that I've been picking up since I started making them. And it is Shazam number 11. I have every issue for this Rebirth run. It's been really good by Jeff Johns. If you like Jeff Johns' writing and you like Shazam, I would definitely recommend reading this. It explores a lot of his powers and how there's different worlds that they're all connected. You got the fun lands and the game lands and all these different lands. We got Black Adam in here. We got Dr. Savannah. We got Mr. Mind. We got Billy Batson and his brothers and sisters. And then we also got Billy Batson's dad, which is really cool. So it explores all of that stuff. I'm not going to say too much about it other than it's been a really, really good read. I definitely recommend reading Shazam if you like DC, if you like to have fun and like laugh a lot. And also, if you really like the Shazam movie, I would definitely recommend picking this up because it kind of builds off of questions that were asked a lot in the movie, at least a lot of questions that I had. So that's definitely a book that I would recommend picking up. I've really enjoyed it. Jeff Johns is an amazing writer. He's probably my favorite overall writer because he can do serious, Doomsday Clock. He can do funny with Shazam. He's on Flash, Green Lantern, Justice League. He can do it all. He's an amazing writer. He's about to do Batman, 3 Jokers. I'm excited for that. So I definitely recommend Shazam. It's a really good read. I definitely rate it probably 8.5 or 9 out of 10 overall as a story. But that's just me. Everyone has their own thoughts on it. D-Runk didn't like it, but I've really enjoyed it. So that's a book that I've reviewed. Who wants to go next?
Great cover. I loved that cover.
Right?
I threw that in our top picks this week for you.
Nice. Who wants to go next?
Me and Ryan are probably going to talk about the same book, I bet.
Well, I was going to let you go first, so depending on what you chose to talk about, I might change.
Well, like I said, I was kind of a little lost on this issue, and I know you're able to see more into the psychology of stuff like this than I'm able to. I don't know. My mind just doesn't work that way sometimes. So, the issues leading up to this were awesome. I really enjoyed the concept of, this other dimension and this kid that has these visions of basically of our world, and he's building trinkets and tools and stuff that exist in our world, and he dresses in clothes that we would wear, and he's looked at as like an outcast for that, and kind of a coming of age is for these guys to go on a quest, and he's decided to go on a quest and search for what do they call them, Ryan?
The folklords.
The folklords, duh.
Yeah.
And that's like blasphemy, it's like, that you don't, that's not allowed. And so he sets out on the quest anyway, and runs into some crazy characters, and it just continues to get wilder in this issue where you've got these people that are basically guards, and they sounds like they pretty much they're protecting some big secret or multiple secrets, and they're called the librarians. And he meets a librarian in this one who's been outcasted for some stuff that he did, trying to kind of rage against the machine, and so he's offered to help them. And then they go into this library, and that's where I lost it. So I mean, if Ryan wants to talk about this book, that's cool, because he can probably lean into that part of it a little more than I can, but I didn't know what was going on with that. It was cool, but I was like, what is going on?
You know what it sounds like to me? That sounds like a comic book version of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. The way you describe the quests and all these different things that are happening, it sounds like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Which is a great
I can see if you took Percy Jackson and crossed that with The Village. That's kind of what this is starting to feel like, is The Village.
Yeah.
I could see this being a thing where they're like in this world that's not really a world. It's just like a community or something, and that's why he knows about this extra stuff. But I will say, like, I'm feeling more and more confused with each issue in a way. But I also think I've kind of figured out where that's coming from. And it's that extra person. Because in the first issue, it's just Ansel and Archer, and it totally made sense. Then the second one, they introduced this extra person that's like almost like texting him or something, and so that third set of narration kind of throws you off. And the third issue, it really came in heavier, and that's where I started to be like, wait a minute, I'm getting confused with 3 different pieces of narration here. And in this one, I found it really confusing because this person's texting him and narrating. Plus, you have Ugly Betty. She's narrating her life story in between that. And there's stuff going on in the world with dialogue and everything all at the same time. And so I do feel like that's where they're getting. I feel like that's where we're getting more and more confused on everything. Is having like three separate sets of like two separate narrations and dialogue all in each issue. You know.
Right.
But it's cool because like in each issue they're referencing a lot of like folk tales and stuff. And this one they go through the library and he runs into like classic characters. Like there's kind of an Alice in Wonderland reference there because that's like the Mad Hatter or whatever in the one room, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see
Where
that.
he's like sitting there drinking tea or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
I forget the other one I'm thinking, but yeah, like in this one they go in the library and there's like
a girl.
That was kind of like an Alice in Wonderland look.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kind of think that's what that stuff was. Is they went through the library, they were seeing like different references to like Alice in Wonderland and stuff. The last issue, it was a lot of. Was it that one? No, the second one had a lot of like Hansel and Gretel stuff.
Except they eat you.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
They give you crazy candy. Yeah. Whoa, man, that was a messed up issue. And I forget what the last one dealt with, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like folklore and folk tales going on, and it's really cool. But I am starting to get kind of a village style vibe where like,
I can see it.
All this stuff that he knows, it's because like they aren't really living in the world they think they are, or I could also see it being a thing kind of like humanity destroyed itself and has like basically started over, but they don't know about the past, and so what those books they have and stuff are maybe like relics from an ancient civilization, which is actually our civilization or something, you know?
Yeah. And I was almost thinking, and now that you say that, like that, I think that makes a lot of sense too. Cause I was kind of thinking like, what if they like captured this kid, or like this kid like bumped his head and like, or what if they like, wiped his memory, but he's like still bringing, like he's got slight memories that are coming in the way of dreams and visions of like a life he's lived up to a certain point before he ended up here. And we don't know how he's gotten here. So I don't know. And then they introduce this guy at the end that's sitting there, like you said, with the extra narrative, and you see him like typing out the narrative as you're reading it. And I'm like, okay, so it's like he's writing the story like as a third party watching it happen. Like and it's like, man, this is like weird. Like
a truer than fiction kind of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see him being like some kind of like village, like in the middle of nowhere, like, very tiny, small community in, village type of deal. And, it breaking out and it being like, oh no, it's in, modern day 20th century and these guys just have no clue. But, then you've got all these, you've got that like the goblin creatures and stuff in there too. So it's like, it's definitely gonna be cool to see how it goes. Cause I think there's only 2 more issues.
One more, I believe. I think this was 4 or 5, right? It says on the front page there.
Oh, does it? Okay. Maybe it is a 5 issue.
Yeah, Folklore's number 4 of 5. So okay, 1 more. Cool. I could also see this little like 5 issues being a setup for something that could turn into ongoing. Maybe the 5th issue ends with like, and the world's bigger than you ever thought, and now he can do an ongoing where he goes all over the place or something.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Booher and Zucker did with Kanto, and they're doing the same thing with Once and Future as well. Because I think that was only supposed to be like 5 or 6 issues, and now they're just going to say that's the first arc, and they're going to continue on.
Yeah.
So I could see that definitely. That would be cool, especially because it's going to be hard. Like I can see it being a little hard to bring everything full circle and explain everything that's going on in 1 more issue. I mean that's a lot to explain. Yeah.
Then again, it could be a simple reveal too. Like I said, I mean, he could escape and run out into a road into like the modern day society, and you're like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now.
But then, what is that dude that's doing the narrative? That's what's throwing me off with the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the part that's really like the big monkey wrench in it for me. Is like I don't know what's going on with this person that's like writing and messaging and stuff. Like that part's throwing me off. Yeah.
It's going to end up being like the Truman Show or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely been a really great read though from the start.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the creativity in it is awesome, and like the imagery and stuff. Like whenever they eat all that candy and stuff. Like Hansel, that was awesome. Like the way he just got the drill, like
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah,
So
like you
it's
said.
definitely worth reading.
Oh yeah, and like you said, like the only people I know reading it is me, you, Nick, and Perry. So it's like, yeah, I don't think it's definitely getting as much love, but it
Yeah.
should though for sure.
Yeah, especially Matt Kent. I mean, I would have thought he would bring a huge audience with him, but
Yeah, and I like the artwork in it. Is really good too. But I mean, most
yeah.
Movie Studio stuff has great artwork. They've got some great guys working with them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know how Dustin feels when we talk books he hasn't read. We had a good time tonight.
Yeah.
I'll show the books off really quick, and then we'll jump out of here. Where is that book? There it is. Okay, we talked TMNT Jennika #1. We reviewed that. Both said it was like a 6 out of 10. We didn't give a grade on the rest of these. What you guys grade? I'm going to grade just this variant a 10 out of 10. I'll grade the story 7.5.
Yeah, I could be with that. 7.5.
I was gonna go with 7, but 7.5 is fair.
And then I'm going to give, like I think I already said this, Shazam. Probably this issue, probably more like a 7 out of 10, but overall, it's been like a 9 out of 10, 1 through 11. What would you guys give Folklords #2?
Number 4.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like a 5, just for the fact that you know, throughout the beginning of it, like it was great, and then like it just got more and more confusing for me. So, you know, I would say a 5 is pretty good.
Yeah, I would give it like a 6, maybe a 7, somewhere in there. Yeah, I mean it's good, but it's starting to get a little confusing. So
yeah,
I think they'll bring it back with number 5 though.
Yeah, issues leading up to this, I would range in like an 8.5 though.
Yeah,
I had a good time talking to you guys, man.
Absolutely.
We got to do more shows, talk about some more stuff. We're going to talk about is comics ending at DC Comics Publishing. Now, we're going to do the whole show on that because there's a whole big rumor on that. I don't know how much to believe of it, but we're going to talk about that at some point. Just not. I appreciate everyone for joining us. We had Mad Mike up in here. We had Comic Man Musings. We had Comics and Death Metal, who's been here like the whole time. Mark, the Cuddy Sark, Southern Comic Geek was up in here. We had some Comic Book Hunter. We had Biggie. We had Two Gun Pedro. We had Mark Knapp. I'm going to try to say everyone's name real quick. Who else? Perry was up in here. Serious Killmonger was up in here. 2BrothersComics is up in here. That's it. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that just didn't post. So,
right on.
Appreciate everyone for joining us. Are you guys at 500 yet? You guys at 500 subscribers yet? Let me check.
We are almost there. I think we're like 6 away.
Jeez, man. It took me over a year to get to 500. So I don't know how you did it, but
a lot of awesome support from everybody. You know, everybody else. That's all I can say.
You're at 493.
So we lost one.
That happens.
Perry lost us another one.
All right. Dustin, you say goodbye. Ryan, you say goodbye, and then I'll say goodbye.
All right, guys. So like Bert was just talking about, we're almost to 500 subscribers. Me and Nick are going to drop a video very soon. I think we're going to do, instead of doing 500, we're going to go ahead and say we're going to do our 600 subscriber giveaway. We've already figured out some of what we're going to do as the giveaway for that. We're working on a few more things, and we're going to let you guys know before March 1st. we'll be able to drop a video and let you guys know about that. On March 8th, we're going to have Anthony Cleveland. He is the writer of Stargazer and Shows In from Mad Cave Studios. We're going to have him in 8 days. On March 7th, we're going to do a live interview with him. And starting this Sunday, me and Steve from Captain Comics are going to be starting a live weekly What If show. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be 11 a.m. Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this Sunday. We're going to do our first one. And we're going to run through these What If books, and it's going to be a super fun time. We talked on the phone for like an hour last night, so we're super pumped about it.
Also, you jumped in here at the end, man. We're saying our goodbyes. You can catch a rewind, or we'll have to do something again later. Ryan, your turn, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be on Instagram posting pretty regularly. Try to talk about everything that I read and just kind of let people know what's going on, what I'm interested in, and what's coming up. So mostly indie stuff. Check me out on Instagram. I'm under Nuexguy, Nuexguy.
So a couple indie guys here. Dustin's kind of a Marvel guy too. I am the DC guy. You guys already know, big DC guy. We're all three big Power Ranger fans. Thanks everyone for joining us this week. We had a lot of fun. Again, this is Berkfamily54comics. I'm Steve. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you guys for joining me. I had an awesome time with you guys. And as always, remember, go Cats.